Hi everyone, welcome to the Singapore Property Pilots podcast. I'm Utkarsh.
I'm Nidhi.
And I'm Farrand.
Okay, so this is going to be the first in a series that we're very excited about because we're going to just get together and talk property for an hour every week. And what can go wrong? Well, setup can go wrong, definitely.
But something that is probably a need at this point in time, because this is not just a podcast where we give you information overload, but this is something where we give you bite-sized information, something that you really need to know and will help you keep yourself updated with what's happening in the property market in Singapore.
Good. And with that, let's get into the news. So the first piece of news that I would love to get the opinion of my esteemed agents here, since I'm not an agent, I'm just a property. They are realtors, I am just a real person. But that's true, right? Because that's the perspective, right? I'm a normal person asking these property questions.
Right.
So something that came up, and I saw it on Stack Homes. There are 10 new upcoming housing sites for 2026, right? There are 10 new sites. I think the GLS is what you guys call it.
Government land
Yeah,
sales.
so let's have a look at that, and I would love to get your perspective on all of them. So I have it open up over here. So there are 10 of them. Let's start with Holland Plain. So
Okay, so Holland Plains, as the name actually alludes to, is around Holland Plains, right? It's bounded by the old Holland Road.
it's a very
Holland
nice
Plain.
area actually. So,
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
If you have pets like dogs, and
Yeah.
if you fly drones or helicopters,
Is that the area where they fly the drones?
Exactly.
Oh, they're going to turn that into
housing?
So what about people who like to fly drones?
Okay, let's not get into that. That's a touchy question.
But I think homes are more important than drones. Okay,
Like I say,
fine.
yeah, let's not get into that. It's a whole hornet's nest. But it's a very nice rolling hills as far as Singapore goes, right?
Yeah.
Kind of Windows XP wallpaper. You know, if you know that place, you know what I mean, right? So the government has planned for housing. They have zoned the area for housing, right? So this is the very first plot. Right, very exciting. It's not a huge plot. It's about 1.57 hectares, and with a gross plot ratio of 1.8.
1.8 is quite low. So
Yeah.
Because surrounding there are good class bungalows.
Yeah, it's
along
a
the-
landed enclave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
landed enclave is the right word, right? And you have good class bungalows to the north at Old Holland Road, and
Yeah.
then mixed landed housings to the south and east also.
Yeah.
Then the west is actually the park connector, the rail corridor.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a really
Yeah.
popular, very nice, very tranquil place for
Okay.
home. Yeah, and this is the first plot. So what we love to talk about is the first mover advantage, right? Yeah, being
Yeah.
Singaporeans, right? And there are good schools right across the road actually, MGS,
Okay.
right? So yeah, and and further down is the MRT. So it's walking distance.
Got it. So I guess this is good for somebody who wants to be in that relatively central, relatively green area. It will not be cheap, I'm guessing, because that's
And what's cheap in Singapore?
it is cheap, but relatively speaking. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
For sure.
Okay. How would we, in the interest of time, because
Yeah.
we could spend 1 hour in
Oh,
each of these
yeah.
areas. Let's move to the next one, Bayshore Drive.
Right. So just before we get into Bayshore Drive, just to let you know, out of the 10 sites, 7 are actually confirmed and 3 are reserved.
Yeah.
So Bayshore Drive is one of the confirmed sites, which is going to be previewing in March 2026 next year. Very different from Holland Plain, because this one actually has the gross plot ratio of 3.5, which means the site actually is really huge, and we're looking at about 1,280 new homes, and this is going to be an integrated sort of development because it has a commercial element
nice.
to it, which is the new trend in Singapore, and we've seen a really good take-up rate with some of the new developments,
Yeah, very popular.
especially in the central.
So this
region.
one, Bayshore is where they're piloting that car life model, right? Am I right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do have currently they're focusing on the HDB enclave in that area.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like a good ecosystem as well. That's what they've been doing recently, releasing HDB enclaves and then private properties in tandem, so that there's a good ecosystem. So which is where you will also see amenities factor kicking in, because although it's linked to the new Berlayar South MRT, but the amenities are not that close by. So with the HDB enclave, I think that's going to be adding on to that aspect.
Yeah, and I guess so. This is for the East lovers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Bayshore used to previously not be that connected, but with the MRT.
Yeah, with the MRT, the Thompson East Coast Line, that place is really set to boom.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can see by the healthy take-up rate with Costa del Sol, Bayshore Park, and the Bayshore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, it was like there's nothing new.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, third one, closer to home, literally speaking for
Yeah.
us over here.
Very
River Valley
excited about
Green.
this one.
Sorry.
River Valley Green Parcel C.
I got-
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one, there was a slew of land sales around this area recently. So this area is very hot, very in the news, right? With number of new launches we see in this year, 2025, like River Green, Promenade, Peck, and
Zion Grand.
Zion Grand.
Yeah.
So this one is currently known as River Valley Green Parcel C, right? So it's
Is the one behind River Valley Primary School, right?
yes, that's
Yes.
right.
Just behind Great World, and there's that big.
Yes, that's right. So the area there, because of the completion of the Thomson East Coast Line, the Great World Station, so now the land are now put up for sale.
So I've been thrown that on that station. It's not that crowded. I guess it's going to get a lot more crowded.
Oh, for sure.
With all because there's so many developments, which is not a bad thing, but there's so much coming up. Zion is right there. Promenade Peak, it's just right there.
Yeah, that's right there. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that happened was the competitive pricing. So when we talk about River Modern later in a little more detail, we can share those details.
Yeah. River Modern is also coming up just behind that, right?
Yeah. So sometimes with a lot of residents coming back, coming in, it may not be a bad thing, right? You may conjure up, very crowded and pictures of that. Yeah. But it actually has another effect, which is to bring in more vibrancy, more amenities, more businesses, and more convenience for everybody.
Exactly. I think that's one thing, even for me, there are moments in time where I feel that, things are very crowded. Then I remember that when you have more people, you have a bigger base for businesses.
Yes.
Right? True. Suddenly you can have within 1 kilometer, if you have more people there, 2 kilometers, you can have a lot more businesses because they have enough traffic to survive.
That's right.
And this is quite a big one. So this is 3, I was looking at it, gross plot ratio 3, which is going to be pretty tall, one of the higher ones. 470 units. Yeah, so interesting. I think one thing to keep in mind now, if you're buying something in River Valley in that area, is my sensing is because you've got a lot of high rises coming. Zion Grand is pretty tall, Promenade Peak is pretty tall. Yeah. This will probably be pretty tall as well. Yeah. So probably you need to have that kind of a unit by unit level analysis, even if you're buying a new launch.
Yeah, true.
And I think this is one thing I think you guys do really well, because you guys kind of prop up. I remember what you guys were working with that friend of mine, your client.
Oh yeah,
you that unit analysis. So yeah, I think this is pretty
unit
important.
analysis, and that's very important when you're buying a new launch, right? Because you want to see what is the facing, what is the which level should you go for, and the objective plays a part, whether it's investment, whether it's own scale and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
So I think it's very important to, when you go for a new launch, to kind of do an analysis of the units you're interested in, and not just one, but perhaps a few, because during bidding sometimes.
Of course, that's a different ballgame all together.
Okay, next one, which I don't know much about, but I hope you guys do. Peck Hey Road.
This is actually a very interesting one, because this was in the news just a couple of months back, and this helped us actually secure a deal for one of our clients, because this area hasn't really seen a lot of GLS sites released, new launches. Right. But because it was in the news, one of our clients actually decided to buy a resale unit, knowing that, there would be launches coming up in the area. So this one is actually closer to the Orchard side. It's along Scots Road. This is probably one of the smallest core central sites, but that area, generally speaking, has actually a lot of like smaller apartments. So I think it's quite in line with that. I think one of the draws here would be the ACS school. So that's where the families may come in. But looking at the location, because it's really close to Orchard, CBD side, I think the prime attraction would be investors or probably, professionals who want to live not too far off, but also
not too near within Orchard, right? And,
that's true. Because obviously, this is a little away from what we call the core central region, so to speak. So the pricing, I believe, would also
again, this is quite
slightly more attractive.
Yeah, I think this is where you get to pretty much have your Orchard location almost. Because you're just behind Cane Hill. Cane Hill is core Orchard.
It is.
But you get a little bit perhaps less of the...
Correct. Less of the...
So the pricing becomes a little bit more attractive. But let's see. Depends on
you
the
get hopefully you get the Newton pricing. This is close to Newton MRT.
Yeah, this is Newton MRT.
This
so
is Newton MRT.
The MRT is actually an interchange.
Correct. Yes.
Oh yeah.
So that's true. It's an
another
interchange.
advantage.
Correct.
Okay.
So you have downtown line and the north-south line.
That's true.
Okay. And then we go to another one. I'm sure for a lot of us watching this, these are names we've not heard because these are kind of not new roads, but some of them are. So Berlayar Drive. And this is in a very interesting part of town. This is one I'm actually looking forward to because I want to see what they're doing with that area.
Yeah. This is a very up and coming area also. As we have heard, a greater southern waterfront.
Correct.
So this is one of the first mover. I don't know why all the first mover plots we are talking about today.
Yeah, I think that's worth talking about before we get into Berlayar Drive. So if I see this, you are seeing a lot new GLS sites. Perhaps I'm seeing a little bit less en blocks, more GLS sites from the government.
Right.
That's the first thing. And secondly, you're seeing them in areas where are kind of newish. Not that there's anything new in Singapore, but these are like, especially this one, right? This is close to reflections in the south. You don't typically get.
Yes.
So what's behind this? If I was to just zoom out for a second beyond side by side, and of course you've been seeing the real estate market for more than 20 years. Is this similar to any other period, or what is going on? What is with this overall trend of a lot of new land sites, less en bloc, new areas? What do you think is going on?
I think the government has always been very deliberate and very conscientious when it comes to land use in Singapore. So the planning and all this, actually all these plans were announced some time back. So now it's being put into action. That's why we are seeing the sale, which is a form of action that translates from the plan.
It was put into plan a long time back, actually.
Correct. So, like I mentioned earlier, the greater southern waterfront. It was, I think, announced maybe 5-10 years ago. Can't remember the exact timing, but so it's all very well planned and very deliberate. So the government has always planned for population increase and housing, transportation, amenities, land use in general, right? So what we are seeing now is maybe the first or second stage of that whole process, right? In order to make Singapore vibrant. Right?
And also to face the supply and demand, right?
Exactly.
Because that's something that you always have to make sure, otherwise the prices will just...
Very deliberate.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a favorite among investors, right? Not speculators, mind you.
And on that note, I think talking about en bloc, right? So we're definitely seeing less and less en bloc happening because obviously, people would want the best of the pricing and the developer's margin and all that to be taken into account. But I think that is something that we may see more of because recently there was this news about reframing of the entire sales process when it comes to en bloc percentage from 80 to 70. But of course, it's in review and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But nothing that has been up in the news, something that that is being put up for government's review, I suppose.
Okay, so back to Berlayar Drive. So what should I take away? Who's this for?
Wow, this is a very interesting block. I think for first movers, definitely, because the location, although there are some established condos like Reflection,
Yeah.
right? The iconic Reflection, there are corals, there's Kingstock, etc. But it's still not very, how do you say? It's not that fully developed yet.
Yeah.
That's why we
Correct.
we use the term first mover advantage.
Yeah.
Just like One Marina Gardens, I suppose, right? That whole stretch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is very good. It's good that you mentioned that because that's what strikes me, right? So when it comes to these new launches, you have two kinds of options, right? In a way, maybe three, but I'm just taking the two extreme examples.
Yeah.
One is where it's a new launch in a very well-established area. You're just plugging into the ecosystem,
Yeah.
right? Even take the one that you're looking at near Great World City, the River Valley. It's
Yeah.
a very mature
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
There's no doubt there's the ecosystem. You have
Yeah.
Great World
World City,
City,
yeah.
Havelock MRT,
Correct.
walking distance, even Bukit Ho Suite, Tiongbaru is not very far from over there.
Right.
Here, on the other hand, this is the new area. This is not an area we typically had residential.
You are right.
So it's a different kind of profile, right? For someone going in here, it could be very good because imagine that this becomes that residential. The upside is a lot more.
Yeah.
It's a lot more
Yeah.
mature, but there's a bit of a first mover kind of
Correct.
feeling.
So the
Yeah.
the downside is that if you are planning to move your family, that say you have kids, then schooling might be a issue, right?
Yeah.
True.
And transportation maybe. This is not
Exactly walking distance.
exactly walking
To the
distance to
MRT.
the MRT,
Yeah.
right? So that's some consideration.
Mm.
But of course, that's the first movers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
Advantage
trade
that we're
off.
talking about.
Correct.
Correct.
So you want better returns, then you take the risk earlier and
Yeah.
take the inconvenience.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not even so much a risk; it's more inconvenience
Mm.
because it's just kind of matches that, right?
Correct.
Okay, how about the next one? New Upper Changi Road. It's like
Right. So it seems like I get the dots where there are bigger mega developments that I get to talk about. But this is actually quite interesting because this is more of Heartlands area
Yes.
as we speak.
Yes.
So there's definitely a need for a mega development because this is not where small projects
Yeah.
thrive as much. So this is of course the gross plot ratio of 2.8, but we're supposed to have a lot of unit count. We're looking at about 1,040 units. It's a mega development and it's basically simply Bedok. It's right in the hub of Bedok.
yeah.
It's close to Bedok MRT. Then you have Bedok Mall. There's Hawker Center. So there's quite a lot of things
So I
happening
think
in
that's
this area.
interestingly. Tell me if my impression is wrong, but my impression is that these mega developments in these high population areas or sought after areas do pretty well. Like when I look at Treasure at Tampines.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Mega development in Tampines, which is quite a high populated
Heartland,
area,
yeah.
heartland
Yeah.
area. So I think this kind of reminds me a little bit of that. I expect to see something like that here.
Yeah. Also, it fulfills like the school criteria for a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
because the Opera Estate Primary School.
Incidentally, this site used to be Temasek Primary.
Ironically.
Ironically. Okay, so you don't mind if I cut in. You mentioned that this is in the heartlands, right? Because I think there's aspiration for a lot of heartlanders to upgrade to condos.
To a private-
So that's why I think what Utkarsh says is very astute. This one will be in high demand.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you have definitely a lot of HDB
Yeah.
upgraders
Yeah.
who would want to.
So we have a pitch for investors also, but reach out to us. We will share with you.
Yeah. Okay, next we go to a completely different area, which I'm not very familiar with. Hopefully, Farrand is. Don't worry, that's not a timer for this podcast. Lorong, Puntong.
Yeah, that's why I picked you up not too far from where I picked you up just now.
Sin Ming.
Yes.
Right. This is again another popular heartland
Yeah.
area, right? If you can recall the last new launch there, AMO or
Yeah.
AMO, it was fully sold out
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a very short period of time,
Correct.
right? So this is another sought after. I think I might be overusing that term, but bear with me. Location also, right? So it's within walking distance to the Thomson East Coast Line, Bright Hill MRT, and there are also catchment of upgraders,
Right,
Ang Mo
yes.
Kio, Bishan, and also Thomson. Right?
Yeah.
Surrounding it, there's also landed housing estates. There might be people who are also looking to right size.
Yeah.
Right? When the
Correct.
kids have flown the coop, they want something more manageable.
Yeah.
They look for something new so as to minimize on maintenance. Right?
And I remember we've had a meal at Midview City when we went for one of your
yes, for the
Yeah,
car.
it's nearby. Yeah.
I remember when we went
So I'll
to
tell you what
with your
strikes
car.
me. I know that area a little bit from the car. So what strikes me is that it's got HDBs, it's got hardline, but it's not that convenient somehow. I think there's a little bit of a walk, there's some ladders. It's a little bit
Yeah,
more
it has
spread
a
out,
bit of
bit
an
more spread out.
industrial aspect to
Bit
it.
more spread
because
out.
The signaling and all of that. that whole
Interestingly,
stretch.
very well mixed.
Yes.
Within 5 minutes, you see a cluster of HDB.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes,
Yeah.
within 1 minute, you have the school, which is
Yeah.
Parcel school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within just beside it is landed housing estate.
Yeah.
And then you have
Very-
condos also.
Correct.
And you have
nearby.
industrialists.
And
Industrial. So fit for everybody and anybody. I mean, the industrial estates. If you are looking from a standpoint of investment, right?
Yeah.
There's some
Okay.
what do you call occupation or tenant pool coming from there.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are the confirmed ones, right? Then
Yeah.
you have
Yes.
something called reserve. Can we again go to reserve concept? That's the developer's minimum price has to be reached.
Yes.
For the
Not the URAs.
I mean, URS minimum
URS
price. has to be
Yeah,
reached.
so the bidding hasn't happened.
Okay.
And they have not been confirmed for the development. So right now,
Okay.
they've just been reserved.
Okay.
So the bidding will open, and then when the bidding is successful, when the reserve price
It's
is
hit.
hit,
Yeah.
that's when they'll be
It's
released.
triggered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And we go to the first of those, Morrison Lane, which is again not very far from here.
Yeah, which is along Mohammed Sultan Road.
Yeah.
And this is actually quite.
Mohammed Sultan's not happening
No
anymore.
more, no more. Oh no, I'm showing my age. These two are younger.
Well, we do go there quite often. We've lived in that vicinity for quite
Yeah.
some time. We
Yeah.
used to really enjoy that space, especially
Yeah.
because of the Fort Canning Park,
Yeah.
MRT
Yeah.
proximity. So
Yeah.
that is something that's a very good mix of like lifestyle,
Yeah.
plus at the same time, having facilities.
Yeah.
So there's Robertson, walk around that
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
So it gives you a mix of good things. So you have like
Yeah.
all your walking needs,
Yeah.
walking your dogs needs taken care of. There's MRT, then
Yeah.
there's
Watering holes.
yeah. So there's quite a lot of stuff there.
Mm.
River Valley Primary is within 1 kilometer.
Yep.
So that could be an interesting factor. But we have to see. It's a small parcel with 200 units.
Yeah.
There's some commercial space available around that area. So we'll see how that
So I think
gets taken
this
up.
also brings me to a bigger point. So we noticed a couple of things, right? One is, out of the 10 sites, 2 of them are in River Valley. And River Valley is a very small part of Singapore. Tiny. If you look at it area-wise, it's very tiny.
Yeah.
Because we were driving yesterday in Yishun, Woodlands,
Mm.
and Sembawang, and we realized each of them is several times like
Yeah, of
Going
course.
from one side of Woodlands to the other side of Woodlands takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
true.
point that I'm making is that you're seeing a lot of new site activity in this very small area, Central, which has not seen it for a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's coming usually at pretty attractive pricing. If you look at the pricing of everything, what are the last 4 months that we were looking at?
Zion.
Before that,
Modern
there was one that sold out very fast. Very small houses, but very, very attractive.
Or River Green?
River Green, yes.
Oh.
yes.
Yeah, whatever. Yes.
So what that seems to indicate to me is that this is whether it is a resale or it is new launch, this is a particularly good time to buy in this part of
Oh, yeah.
Singapore
Yeah.
because the new launches are going to reach their TOP in 3 to 4, the minimum, what's the thing they can sell after without SSD 3 to 4 years.
Mm.
So you'll have sub sales. People have bought at attractive prices. There's a lot more connectivity happening here. So this is perhaps a lull where you can buy in this area at a reasonable price.
This is actually in
Good
line
one.
with the decentralization, the centralization that we were talking about in some of our last videos.
Yeah,
so you can
last
go
video.
ahead and take a look
Yeah.
at those. We've talked about
Yeah,
how,
we've talked about this in detail. Why
we've talked about
we've
this
talked
in
about
detail.
why the central of Singapore is a good buy right now. And I think it continues. And I think you have a window perhaps for about from now, if from a year back to maybe a year from now.
Yeah.
Is our sense. Yeah.
Do take a look at that video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just cross promoting some videos. That's what I'm saying.
No, but it was an interesting one because
Yeah.
we really talked about how the
Yeah.
focus is coming back to the central region and this is a good time for investments.
Yeah.
But moving on to the next reserve site.
Town hall, right side.
This is
What's okay? Let's as a real person, not a real. But what is a white side?
white side is actually up to the developer to plan. All right, so they
Okay.
need to submit not just the tender, the bid for the price of the land, but also a concept plan of what they plan to do. Right, so the government
Okay.
is giving the developer some sort of free
Freedom.
reign,
Okay.
freedom
Okay.
to plan for that site. So this is again another very exciting place that the government has announced 2010 to 13 thereabouts.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
still remember when we launched J Gateway, the very first condominium in this Jurong Lake District. So the government has set up very exciting plans for this place, right? To take reference from the Lake District from the UK, and also second CBD. So there is this term given by the government to this location as they want to make it as a second CBD.
Yeah.
Right? And even the Chinese garden, Japanese garden, they are modeling it after Gardens by the Bay.
Right.
So they want to make another Gardens by the Bay because it's quite
Correct.
successful, right?
True.
In the Lake District. So this is and they have. I mean, I can go on and on, but let me be succinct and answer your question. White side meaning
Yeah.
the developers.
And it's a big one.
Oh, big one, yes,
Huge one.
definitely.
3.72 hectares, 1,200 homes, 84,000 square feet the
Yeah.
working space. So what again is this? Just again asking as a layperson. So is this kind of so Jurong is of course well developed, especially near the. But when I see the site that this is, it seems to be a bit more empty. Looking at the plot.
Oh yeah, because they
So is
took
it-
over the golf course, if you can remember, for the high-speed rail.
Got it. So this
Yeah.
is the golf course used to be.
Yeah.
Got it.
So okay, so let me be candid for a moment. We don't know how it will go.
Pan out.
Yeah, and my sense is that this might not be triggered for the time being.
Okay. Because it's a big one. Developer needs to put up a lot of money, a little
Yeah.
bit of unknown also.
Mm.
So this could be take a bit of time. So if you're waiting for a house there, keep waiting or buy something else.
We do have a solution for you, but we are not going to discuss it here again.
Next video.
Next week.
Maybe. Alright. Or reach out to us if you can't wait.
Okay. And then the last one, and then really we need to move on from the news because this has been a very long news section.
Yeah, how about we keep the last one for the next video then?
Sure.
Let's finish it off. Let's finish it off and then we will move to the top property.
Oh, this one is interesting.
Kitchener Link.
Yeah, why don't you take it up then?
This one we were viewing around there not too
Yeah.
long ago. City
Sturdy
Square,
residences.
Sturdy, yeah.
Correct.
So this plot, I reckon it will be very popular also,
Yes.
right? Because again, Little India is very central.
Location.
Yeah, the location is excellent.
It's right next to the City Square Mall.
Yeah, and you can tell City Square, the condos and study is so sought after and it's so rentable.
I know.
The
We
demand
couldn't
is
get a unit for one of our clients recently in
The
either of
demand-
those.
Yeah, so
They get taken up like in a day.
So this one, conversely to the earlier plot in Jurong Town Hall, this one I get a sense that it will be triggered.
Yeah.
So that's my bet. Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Good. And so now we move on from the news to talking property.
Right.
So Nidhi, how was your week in property? What did you do?
It's always interesting. Last week was slightly quieter. It's also because a lot of people are traveling. You know, every time we inquire for a viewing, if it's a tenanted unit, most tenants are traveling. But that also brings us to a point that this is the time to find value deals. And we have one such value deal available. We were actually talking about LakeGarden District. So let me bring it up to you. We're actually, we have a sub-sale unit available in LakeGarden Residences, which basically is the second CBD that we've spoken about. There's a video that we've made about it as well. We'll just put it up. Go ahead and take a look. We're actually selling it at a at a good price. We've shared all the details. This particular stack
What is
is
the size
actually
of the unit?
sold
Size and number of
out.
bedrooms?
Yeah, I was just going to get to that. So this is a 2-bedroom, 592 square foot. This is actually a sold out stack. So if you want to get this size in this particular development, it's not available. The next, and this is at we're asking 1.45 million. The next one's available at 1.59 from the developer. So there's a good margin to be made if you're looking for investment. Rental yield would be very good as well. At the same time, it'll be available. It's going to TOP in 1.5 years from now.
Yeah.
So it'll be available.
I
for you
think that's
to
the advantage
rent
of this,
out.
right? Because in a way, I think if you want a new launch now, if you want to get a 2-bedroom, 1.45 is really on the, if not lower side, it's tough side. I think
Exactly.
it's almost 1.5.
Yeah,
So in a way, you're getting, if I see it as a buyer, you're getting a new unit because it's a sub-sale.
that's true.
But you
It's
get it
still
at-
brand new.
Yeah, and it's full
And you
facilities
get-
condo, and it's
Yeah.
basically facing the Chinese.
No, it's just,
Garden.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
This is against the Jurong Lake district, right?
Correct.
Jurong Lake
Jurong
District.
Lake.
It's right beside the gardens itself.
correct,
So,
right beside the
yeah,
garden.
so you
Correct.
can exit the rear gate and
Ah.
start jogging,
Correct. Yeah.
or walking your pets, right?
Okay.
So this one is a rare find because, like Nidhi saying, it's fully sold out, and then the next available 2-bedroom in the market from the developer will have a certain price jump, right?
Yeah.
And this is this owner actually is very serious to sell. If not, if it is any typical investor, right, they will have waited
Yeah.
to sell later on at a higher price. So this is an opportunity for you to grab something at a discount, I reckon.
Yep.
When as compared to when it's completed.
Yeah.
Right.
So do get in touch with us, and we can share more details with you.
Good. How about you, Farrand? How was your week?
Oh, a lot of leaks. Surprisingly, not through the rain, although
Yeah.
it's not really rainy
Yeah.
recently. I think I'm handling 3 or 4 leaking cases for our rental units, right? And just also handling some tenants handing over and taking over
Yeah.
apartments. So I think about 3 or so this week. And working on some rental deals also, closing I think 2 of them, 3, including the the one working with you.
Woohoo!
So rather hectic week. So if you can
Yeah.
excuse my blurness,
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
I'll tell you, my house had a week in property, even though I'm not a real.
Go ahead.
No, so we were having an interesting conversation because I met up with a few of my ex-colleagues, right?
Okay.
And we were talking about the Singapore property market, and
Right.
it's no secret that I'm pretty fond of it. right?
Yeah, we
So-
can tell.
So we were talking about it, and I think I think 2 or 3 things that really stand out. One, of course, most people would love to invest in Singapore property, most can't. Only if you're Singaporean or PR, or if you're a US citizen or a Swiss citizen or a couple of other countries can. I think 2 things that happen here in Singapore, which you don't realize, that we think property is very expensive, which it is. But there are 3 things I found which we were discussing, which I thought we should bring up. One is the capital gain in Singapore is not super fast, but it's super steady.
Yeah.
Right? So you can be pretty sure you will over a period get your 3% to 4%, which is ahead of inflation. So that's the thing. Secondly, the capital gains, if you're resident in Singapore, does not get taxed. Which this struck me that for a lot of us, we may complain about a lot of things, but not having capital gains tax is a big one.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
big
we
one.
just
It's a big
encountered
one.
that with one of your
Yeah.
friends,
One
right?
of our friends. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The second one.
Which has motivated him more to buy a property.
So it's in fact that is what is motivating him to buy the property. It's a separate story altogether. Second one is the interest rate and rental yield is pretty interesting ratio, because typically what happens is some places you can get, most places the interest rate is very high and the rental yield is very low. In Singapore, the rental yield is very high relatively speaking, and the interest rate is very low. So in a way, just as a pure investment, it makes so much sense, because it kind of even if you think you're paying interest,
Yeah.
the rent can kind of pay for the interest
Yeah.
more than
For
people
sure.
can pay
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. That combined with lack of capital gain. So which is why we're having this conversation, and after the conversation, people were like, if you have the opportunity, it probably is right to invest. You cannot only look at it as the PSF term, because in PSF terms, Singapore does look very expensive.
Yeah.
2,000 PSF, 3,000 PSF, whatever, it keeps
Sure.
getting crazier and crazier. But if you look at it very, very logically from that perspective, of course, as a place to stay, but also as a place to have a safe haven for your money,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. So that was my week. This was the topic that
Yeah.
I was discussing.
That's why it's not unusual to see some foreigners, even when they are not qualified for ABSD or additional buyer stamp duty remission, right? So that means they are paying 60%, and they are happy to park their money here, right?
Yeah. And on link to that, now we get to the questions. Now we will eventually get viewer questions, but now we have client questions because there are clients that are being served.
Yeah, okay.
So I have 2 questions that you guys told me, one from Farrand, one from Nidhi. Okay, that we will do. And then next week we will have more questions as the questions keep rolling in. So linking to the topic that I was saying, somebody asked us, we won't reveal who they are for the sake of anonymity.
Yeah.
Should I buy a new launch or should I buy a high rental yield resale if I want to maximize my investment? What is your advice? I know there's no right answer.
I mean,
but this is the question that you guys know you are dealing with.
I mean, this is a question that we get asked a lot of times. I think very linked to objective as well. Of course, if someone is looking for own stay, and someone needs to get a property to own stay, say 3 to 4 months from now, then obviously resale is an obvious choice, right? But I think this question is more linked to investment.
Yes, investment. Yes.
Yeah. So of course, when you talk about investments, there are a couple of factors that are taken into account. One is, of course, capital appreciation, because you're investing to grow your capital, to grow your asset, right? And then, of course, is the returns that you will get on it from the rental that you could potentially put it on, right? So those would be the 2 things. Anything else that could be added to that?
So usually when we get asked this kind of question, the client will be asked back even more questions from us, because it actually varies from person to person. Everybody's situation is unique.
Yeah.
So our job is to find out what is the goals and what is the objective and what is their investment expectations. So but in the interest of answering this question in the video, right? As what Nidhi says, we will look into all these factors, right? And we will come up with even calculations, right? To show. So sometimes new launch makes sense, right? For specific buyers for their use cases. Sometimes due to cash flow circumstances, resale might be a better choice.
Yeah, in fact, we're dealing with one such case. So we had someone who wanted to get into investment, just to share with you. And initially we approached it from a new launch perspective, because capital gains is a lot more when you buy something at the launch phase. Obviously, when it gets into different phases, the price will jump, right? So first mover advantage. But eventually we realized along the way that they would prefer to have immediate rental gains, because this person is still young. They don't want to be in a position where they have to pay first, even though it's progressive payments. So then we, altered our path along the way, and then we said, okay, let's look into resale units. But then that's where we also advise, should you go for rather new resale units, because that's where the maintenance factor kicks in, the newness of the property kicks in, your exit is really important at the same time. And of course, it takes care of the mortgage, because the rental is almost immediate. So I think this is something that has always been a point of discussion, but we have to, as Farrand says, we have to sit and discuss the pros and cons.
I think it's well summed. It's kind of what excuse me. It's a fun question. So I think it's kind of what you were saying, which is that it depends on your objective. If you want to maximize return and you're not that concerned about immediate cash flow, because with a new launch, initially it's cash out. You pay the down payment, you pay a little bit of the mortgage. And 3 years or 4 years down the line, then you can sell it without SSD, you get the big return. So if you're not that concerned about immediate cash flow, new launch makes a lot of sense. That said, say you have a certain amount of money and you want to allocate it to an investment, and you don't want to allocate much more, maybe you want to get some cash on top. That's where resale, a high rental resale makes sense. You may buy something, maybe it costs $1 million, you put 250, 300K down, and it gives you a good return of whatever, 4K if it's a high rental yield per month. Which more than covers your mortgage, plus gives you some pocket money on top.
Yeah. Actually, in January, we'll be sharing this another video, because we'll be dealing with a couple which has already decided that one is going to buy new launch and one is going to buy resale.
Best of both worlds.
So we'll put the numbers together, and maybe we'll share that as a case study in one of our videos after we have met the client.
Just to just to note, we are unbiased.
Yeah.
If you have noticed, we are not biased against one or the other.
Yeah.
Right? So we are definitely always starting from the standpoint of what is best for our clients.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. Okay.
Good. And then we have the last question of the day,
All right.
asked by one of your clients. I'm going to put the verbatim thing that you've written, because since I asked it to you in a verbatim. I have heard about this new launch called River Modern and River Valley. Is it a good buy?
Okay, so I'm going to answer a couple of things about that first, because I was just talking to a client about it, and I noticed a couple of interesting facts that makes it a good investment potential. Okay, one of the things is because GLS sites, when they release, there are few at a time. So this one is actually the last river fronting site for District 9. There won't be any released at this point in time. Of course, this is a project by Walkerland, which is a very reputable developer.
Yeah.
For people who actually own Walkerland projects, they actually get priority balloting. That's another thing to take note of. Although this is a 99 leasehold, but everything in the vicinity is 99-year leasehold as well. But one thing that's interesting about this one is this is an integrated development, so there's a commercial aspect to it. And the most interesting thing that I noticed when I was comparing this to all the other projects like Promenade Peak, Zion Grand that are in the vicinity is that this is the one where the 4 bedrooms are actually as big as about 1,800 square foot.
Right.
So this is something a lot of clients come up to us and say that, the 4 bedrooms are really small in size, only 1,500, 1,600 square foot. So I think for people who are looking for own stay for a big 400 bedroom, probably this one is to look out for in this particular project. Yeah.
Okay. So this gives me a sense that just from the unit sizes, it's a more, not to say premium, but it's a more spacious, maybe a higher cash outlay. It's a traditional side of private property like it used to be.
More fitting to
the
location.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. What about your thoughts on whether this would be a...
Let me play devil's advocate. Again, we are unbiased, right? So, for the interest of not revealing too much about this person who asked this question, we take it as this is a question asked by any generic buyer that we don't know the background of.
Correct.
So that being said, there's plenty of choice around there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that could be a so-called confusing or a problem for most buyers. Which one to choose? Promenade, River Green, Each
There's
has
still
its strength.
few balance units left in other
correct.
projects.
So there are still some balance units left, and they are all within the same vicinity, so to speak.
Yeah.
Or should you wait for the Parcel C?
The one we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So
True.
Yeah. So all this, I think, again, we won't go into it. Reach out to us, right? And we can have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I think the general thing to say is that any new launch right now in the central area is probably a good buy because the prices have not adjusted to the typical premium you see.
Correct.
Right? They will because it's a matter of time because the market adjusts as well as when you have so much supply coming in, you get a lot more business built up over there and a lot more interest. So in general, it's good. For me, what strikes me is it's a larger size unit.
Yeah.
So I guess from a own stay, it's amazing if you want a larger size unit. If you want a larger size unit, new launch in the central area, there's nothing. This is it, probably. Maybe Orchard, Upper House, maybe also a larger size. But that's a slightly different area, not the Orchard side.
Correct.
So I think it works for that. Is it that you buy today and flip tomorrow? Maybe it's not the best candidate for that. Is my sensing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because it's expensive, like
Yeah.
lower price, more buyers always.
Yeah.
But of course, we do plan out the exit strategy for our clients also, right? Again, we won't review here, right? That's our trade secret.
Yeah, for that you have to meet him in person.
Yeah.
Then maybe he'll tell you. Maybe. Okay, good. So this was the first episode of the Property Pilots podcast. We'll try and do this every week because we have 2 extremely busy agents, but they will try. They promise to try and make time. And hopefully this was helpful. Let us know if there are any questions you'd like us to address, any particular news you want us to talk about. Just let us know in the comment section or wherever you're seeing this, whether Instagram, YouTube, wherever. And we'll see you next time.
All right. I'm the one who always says this. Please like, subscribe.
And share.
Do share, because as I always say, sharing is caring and sharing is free. So if you know anyone,
Subscribing is free also.
that's true. Subscribing
Liking
is
is
free.
also free.
Yeah, but we're here to help add information, value add. So do let us know if you have any more questions. Happy to meet up for a cup of coffee and take it from there.
Okay, until
Alright.
next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.